Well, the day is here. Sven has come over to join me here in the United States, and we're getting ready to jump into the aircraft and head on over to Indianapolis to take a look at the new helicopter and make a down payment. Very soon, that aircraft will be flying throughout Norway. Sven, let's go.
Sven Gustaven i Ørsta jobber som adventistpastor i 2 fylker og bruker hver veke utallige timer i bil og ferje.
I really had no intention of becoming a pastor or minister in the church. I was sitting alone in a room in my apartment, and I was looking at a news magazine of some kind. I don't remember which, but as I opened it to a full-page ad for a helicopter. As I looked at this ad of a Hughes 500D, all of a sudden I get this very, very strong impression that I only know didn't come from my own head. And it was this impression that one day, Sven, you're going to fly one of these machines in my service in Norway. And the thought was so startling, I started to chuckle. But then I said, because the impression was so strong, I said out half aloud, I said, but Lord, I said, if that's what you want, I'm willing, but you know, these things cost money, and I don't even have a helicopter license, but if you provide both of them, then I'm willing. I built a little helicopter myself. Was a Rotorway Exec 162F, and it revolutionized the way I did my work in that part of the country. I lost it, unfortunately. I was going on a mission trip south of where we live, and I had just crossed the fjord and on my way into a wooded region in a valley, and then I suddenly smelled the smell of a cooling fluid, engine fluid, and I immediately turned to a place I'd seen and decided I better land and find out where that leak was coming from. And as I was turning the machine around to go land, it started to act very strange. It started to wag with its tail, and I understood that I was losing the effect on my tail rotor. And I asked God for His protection, to say the least, and miraculously I was able to bring that thing down on a little spot, and I came from the whole thing with just a tiny little scratch in my head. And I was 3,000 feet up in the air when this thing happened. And the Lord gave me a peace of mind that was astonishing, where I was able to concentrate and bring the thing down in as safe a manner as was possible under the circumstances. And this created a wonderful opportunity to tell the mass media and the rest who gathered and heard about it that it was God who had spared my life.
Ja, like etter avgang fikk han problem med helikopteret sitt og styrta i Volda på Sunnmøre, og nå takker han høyere makter for at han kom uskadd fra havariet.
It has made Adventists known, the Adventist Church known in broad circles in Norway. And still the media is very, very interested in the continuation of this. They were very interested when I started using the helicopter, and they're much more interested now. My district starts down here,
Okay.
and goes all the way up here. It's about 33,700 square kilometers. Yeah,
Most of it is water and with land.
Yeah, there's
Islands.
fjords. There's fjords going all over the place. See this road here? It's all crooked and it's narrow. I had a man I was going to visit up here, and I had procrastinated the trip because, you know, it takes a lot of time. I used 13 13 and a half hours back and forth. And that's the only person I was able to visit that whole day. There was 4 ferries each way, and like I said, I visited for 1 hour, and the rest was driving, 12 hours driving.
Well, I can see how a helicopter would be handy for you here, especially to multiply the impact of your ministry.
Right.
For reaching other people, supporting the church, and opening new work too.
Yeah, definitely.
A little over a year ago, when we first started this helicopter project, we came to visit Arvin here, the owner of the helicopter, and within a few days after us expressing our interest that we would intend to buy, the Lord provided nearly $90,000 for that project. We offered to pay a down payment. He said, no, when you have the whole thing, you can pay me, but I won't take a down payment. And he just advised us that we have 30 days to buy it, or else he's going to modify it, put an air conditioner in, and he's going to keep it. It's not for sale anymore. When I hear that kind of deadline, I get encouraged, because I've seen God take us all the way to the end, and he seems to do that every time. God takes us to the very end until there's no way out, and then he comes through. He's done that for us time and time again, and the only reason I think he does that is he's trying to teach us as a people to learn to be patient, to trust in him, and to trust him all the way to the end. Once the other $500,000 comes in, right at the very deadline, the world cannot say, hey, they figured out how to finance this.
No.
Because if we could have, we would have done it already.
That's right. Well,
Only God can get the honor and glory for that one.
yeah, him only.
You have heard Pastor Sven's story of how God led him into helicopter ministry, into isolated areas of Norway. You have heard how God provided his first small 2-seater helicopter, and now, 20 years ago, a vision and direction God gave him is coming to fruition. This helicopter project is not just any project. It was directed and ordained by God from the very beginning. The funding for the down payment came through miraculously when a physician called and offered to pay for the down payment. How he found out, we don't know. But we saw God opening the Red Sea. And anytime God opens the Red Sea, you can be sure he will open it all the way. Not halfway, the entire way. How will God pay for it in the next few weeks? That's all we have. Because the owner is reticent of selling. He would rather keep it. But he's giving us just a few short days to finish paying for it. Keep watching. Keep praying. If you want to be a partner in some way, I invite you to take that chance, to take this opportunity to trust God. Get on your knees and say, Lord, I hold up this project. I want to see God at work. You know, when God does something and everybody sees his hand, everybody wants to be part of it. I believe God is using this helicopter project to be an example to you. He wants you to learn to trust him, no matter where you are, where you see this, in what circumstances. But he wants to reach into your life. In a few days, that helicopter will be paid for. We don't know how, we don't know through whom, but we do know that God will open the waters all the way. And I invite you, as you watch, as you observe, as you see God act, that you will in your own life make a decision to love and trust him, to take a risk, place yourself in a position where only God can pull you through. Allow God to lead you into areas that are not part of your comfort zone. He will do that for you too, because God has no favorites. As you watch this helicopter project in Norway, as you see what God is doing, what he will do, may the conviction grow in your heart that you too must launch out by faith. God needs you. He wants you to be part of a great global mission to finish the whole work, to reach the whole world, to reach every single person in your sphere of influence. May you be encouraged, may your faith grow, and may you place yourselves totally in God's hands, knowing that God always keeps his promises. I want to be your neighbor in heaven. Don't miss it. May God bless you.